Dress Teen Stress. I'm Abba Shrestha, and welcome back to our Teen Stories Told series, where we interview teens or individuals that just crossed their teen years to share their mental health story and give us their thoughts and opinions on teen mental health. Today, I'm here with the National DECA High School Division President, Alex Ellsworth. Alex, can you please start off by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'd love to. First of all, thank you, Alba, for having me. I'm very grateful to be here, and I've did a lot of research on this account. I've seen some of the videos, and it's honestly really heartwarming with the intent of what you all want to accomplish. So I'm very flattered that you asked me to come on with you for an interview. But in that regard, my name is Alex Ellsworth, and I'm a current college freshman at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And in my senior year of high school, I was elected as the high school division president for all of International DECA this year, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get to serve the high school division of the entirety of International DECA, and it's just been an absolute pleasure. But I'm also studying hospitality with an effort of having a focus on event management so I can get more into public speaking, hosting, and planning big conventions, and that could be really fun. I live right by the Las Vegas Strip, so I'm very excited for the nearby opportunities. But in that regard, I'm excited to get started, but it's nice to meet you all.
And then talking about DECA, so as we know, DECA has been a very, very big part of your life as you served as the VP of Leadership, the Nevada State President, and now the National High School Division President. So has there been any struggle to keep up with this very large responsibility, and how has it impacted your mental health, you would say, in both a positive and a negative way?
I love that question. I think that regardless of what anyone says, any kind of leadership role can have its own challenges, especially mentally. And as a positive thing, to start on a positive note, it has to its entirety shifted my mindset in the regard that I was I felt this immediate pressure when I was elected, but it was a good kind of pressure because I went through this long election process. I got to caucus with several different states and hear so many voices and opinions of members that are just phenomenal people. And through everything that I promised in my election, there was this immediate pressure when I got elected of, wow, they trusted me with this. I need to make sure that I'm fulfilling all of my promises. And that could come with a lot of stress because I wanna make sure I'm doing the right things. I wanna make sure I'm giving back to the organization that has given the absolute world to me, and that really sometimes puts some negative stress too because I'm trying to do as much as I can, but sometimes it you need to sit back and realize, "Alex, you're doing all you can. You're doing what you can. You're doing what you promised." And I know that as teens, we love to always think that we can do more. And sometimes we'll put that pressure on ourselves of, should I be doing more? Should I be doing less? Should I be doing something differently? So a lot of that negative stress came from the position. But on a positive note, though, it is a great form of pressure because it allowed me to continue to give back to the best of my ability. Some stress isn't always a bad thing, but it can come with its positives and negatives. Absolutely.
And then, so can you tell me a little bit more about your DECA journey? And if there's someone out there that's maybe thinking to join DECA, but they're on the verge, what would you say, the benefits or why should they join DECA?
No, absolutely. And I joined DECA my freshman year of high school. And for anyone that wants to join, I think that the biggest first step is to attend your association conference or your association district conference. Just try it out because it's very, very rare when I meet a member that is finally convinced to go to an association conference and they end up not liking it. It's always just that initial fear of the competition or maybe how grand it can feel or how scary it can feel because I was that student. In my freshman year of high school, did not have much direction. I did not know what I wanted to do. I had never really done extracurriculars before. I wasn't even sure if I had no idea how to apply for a job, let alone go to college, apply for college. There was so many items that I didn't have the guidance for in middle school and with my family. So I was mortified to join a organization like DECA. And after joining it and going to my first state conference, as scary as it was competitively and how much I was really questioning myself and what I could or couldn't do, it was the best decision I made because I can say that I know it might sound cliche, but DECA genuinely changed my life. And I wanted to run for this position because I want to show other people that it can change yours too. and not just DECA, but all career and technical student organizations. They can change your life. And I know, Abba, you're in HOSA, right? And I know you can say the same. We're all a part of CTSOs because we love them and they benefit us. The community, as well as the business exposure and the competitive event experience, it is so beyond not only beneficial, but enjoyable and fun. And I have found an unreal community just from being in this organization and just from being a part of a CTSO. It can be scary, it can seem daunting, but the hardest thing is just stepping out of your comfort zone and just trying it. So if I could say that to anyone, if you DECA can change your life if you let it. And the hardest thing is just trying it and just going for it.
That was very well said. I definitely agree with everything you said. And yes, I am in HOSA, so uh, I have that same like I
Yeah.
joined the freshman year and it was very scary in the beginning as I thought, but
Mhm.
then after, you grow into an organization, you meet the people, you gain a network and you earn
Yeah.
the I totally agree. And I don't have a DECA personally at my school, but I think we're about to start one.
Oh, I'd love that.
So I definitely suggest anyone to join like any CTSO organization like DECA, HOSA. There's also like FPLA. It really does enhance your skills. So very well said. So why do you think it's important for people to join clubs? And do you think that being a part of it has affected you in like academic way or a personal way of any sort?
I honestly think all of the above. I think that not only in the sense of my own personal growth, but one thing that was a big surprise to me, and I'm assuming you can say the same, is the community that you find when you join a career and technical student organization or join some clubs or join some organizations within your school. I think that the community you find is something that no one ever really expects when you join an organization, because initially people join clubs and organizations maybe because they think it'll be fun, or they'll do it for their own personal benefit of, oh, this could maybe look good on me, or maybe I could use this kind of exposure career wise, anything that you can think of. But the best part is the community I was able to find, and it's helped me on a personal level so much. I used to be mortified of public speaking. I used to not really know those little things about maybe financial literacy or debit or credit cards. I barely knew anything. I learned in my freshman year from doing a DECA workshop of how to handle finances. It was the amount that I learned just career exposure wise and the people you'll meet after joining a career and technical STEM organization. I have learned so many things that just changed my life and shifted me into a good direction to where I can apply for college, apply for jobs, get into college. It was a really big shift that I'm just eternally grateful for. And then the people you'll meet, it's unreal. You're working and competing and participating in an organization with people that are so like-minded to you, so different but so similar to you at the same time. And they're high achieving, kind, courteous people that you'll get to meet. And being introduced to a community like that has really, really changed my life. And then just everything, business exposure wise, and with the competitive events and the leadership training, I've just grown on a personal level too. And I would not be where I was today without considering clubs and organizations. Even as daunting as they can sometimes be, I can promise you that they can change your life in some capacity.
And then talking more a little bit on the mental health side, how do you think your perspective has changed on mental health as a whole from when you were a freshman in high school to now a freshman in college?
Oh, wow. Drastically, I can definitely say. Mental health was not really talked about at my middle school, let alone in my household, and not because of neglecting, but just because of the lack of awareness of it or how to deal with it or to talk about things. I definitely think that through being through high school, I've learned so many mental health maybe techniques, or I didn't even know it was something that was a prevalent topic to address, which is so wild because now it's something I really care about and people I feel need to continue to talk about more. But mental health struggles in high school can come in so many different forms. It can come socially, academically, the pressure of going to college or getting jobs, or even just or maybe if you have family experiences. There's so much that any high school student can encounter and go through. And I think that it's just so prevalent to take an effort to understand how you need to heal and how you need to take care of yourself. It's also not only learning off of other people of mental health tactics, but it's also prevalent to kind of try and recognize what items calm you down, making sure you're taking enough time for yourself, making sure that you like to stay organized in whatever way you like to stay organized, or you spend this much time doing this item in school versus spending this amount of time with your family. There's so many little items to break down, but it's a very, very prevalent topic. And I just didn't know how to deal with mental health. I didn't know how to talk to people about things. I didn't know anything about personal spending time with myself. I was just always such a go, go, go. And I really learned to slow down and to take time for myself and to prioritize what I care about rather than what I think others expect of me. That was the biggest shift, I think, over the last 4 years of just you come first at the end of the day. You and your morals and your values come first before all this other work and the people and everything. You come first, and that took me a long time to realize that.
And then on the same basis, what coping mechanisms would you say, like how has it changed, or like is there any coping mechanisms you took with you to college?
I think that maybe as cliche as it sounds, I wasn't always the best. I played soccer for about 13 or so years, and then in my junior year of high school, I ended up stopping. Just I just didn't want to play college soccer, so I just ended up stopping playing. And a big mental health shift was I was constantly, constantly exercising because that was just what I had been doing for 13 or so years. So after I quit, there was an immediate stop, and it took so long for me to redevelop these new habits, but the one thing that I at least learned was to 1, exercise a little bit more, and if 2, maybe to read and spend some time just maybe off my phone, because sometimes I could be scrolling through TikTok for the longest time, so I try to read when I can, and then a big thing too is whenever I'm really stressed or maybe a social battery is not doing the best, I think that prioritizing family time is a big thing too, or prioritizing time with your friends is a really big thing. I think that if I can spend time with the people I truly, truly value and care about, maybe take some time for myself to binge watch movies, watch or read a few books, or work out a little bit more. I think that that really shifted my mental health after that big just stop and exercise and social and after school extracurriculars, this immediate stop in my junior year because I just wasn't playing soccer anymore. But I really learned a lot about taking that self priority of just doing the things that you like and spending time with the people directly in your family. I think that that was a big shift.
And then how important do you think mental health is during your teenage years and why?
I think it's incredibly valuable because your teenage years, that is where, and I can say this confidently, where I had the most mental growth. I think that almost in every year of high school, you learn, wow, you look back at yourself or you get a 1 year ago Snapchat memory and you're thinking, wow, who was this girl? Who was this girl? You grow so much throughout the entirety of high school, and mental health is so important to talk about because while you're growing, it's important that your capability to take care of yourself and to prioritize and to avoid as much unnecessary stress as possible is so important. And that can be through learning about mental health. It can be really taking the time to learn about yourself, but it is incredibly important because managing stress throughout the entirety of high school can reflect on how well you manage stress as you get to college, and also learning about your own coping mechanisms and what items calm you down or keep you less stressed. There's just so much that needs to be talked about in high school because that's the pivotal point between being an adult to just growing as a person. It's a big time in all of our lives, and it's a very important conversation to make sure that we're growing in the right ways.
So you have personal work experience as a salon coordinator for the Avalon Institute and also a manager for the Nevada Alliance Soccer League. So you started both of these from your resume. It's said that you started both of these near the tail end of your senior year. So how do you
Mhm.
think a job as a teenager can affect your mental health? Why or why not do you think it's important?
I ended up these 2 jobs specifically, I ended up applying for at the end of my senior year with the intent of hoping to keep them throughout college because I live pretty near my university. But I think that it was a big shift because I had also recently gotten elected in this position and I wanted And college is a very new avenue. It's very different from high school, but not in a bad way. It's just very different because now you have this new ability to pick the entirety of your schedule, and that can go work schedule, school schedule, and any extracurriculars you would like to join. Because once you hit college, it's completely your endeavors. There's no high school counselor or specified curriculum. It's your major, your experiences. But I think that through the jobs that I've had, it could be a little bit stressful sometimes, but I think that the biggest thing has just been prioritizing and limiting the things that I'm doing. I'm prioritizing in the regard of I'm only in extracurriculars that I really, really am passionate about and care about, and I'm working jobs that, yes, the financial benefits awesome, but I also enjoy both of the jobs that I'm working. So it's good to try and find a good work environment that you not only feel comfortable in, that you enjoy, because that can help with stress too. The community I found within both of my jobs has been very, very stress relieving because not only am I having that financial benefit of working a job, but I'm meeting phenomenal people. But it can come with stress. So it's important to not, even though the financial benefit can be a great thing, to not add jobs if you feel that you don't have enough time. And it's okay, but everyone's schedule looks different. So I'm just grateful that I get that financial benefit of working those jobs, but I'm also I feel that I've gotten to a good balance, so I think that that's a good thing, yeah.
And then on the topic of college, I know there's a lot of people here in our Justine Stress audience that are currently seniors like me that are going into college. So do you have any additional like college advice?
Absolutely, actually. I think that the biggest advice I can give to anyone that's looking for college specifically, I know how stressful it is right now with college app season, and you're so stressed of, am I gonna get into these schools? It's a stressful process, and I can most certainly admit that. But the one thing that I recognized the moment I got to college is where you end up going doesn't internally and socially matter as much as you think, because a big thing about college is what will others think about this university I got into? I want someone to think, wow, like she got into this school. There's those factors that sometimes students will think about when they're going through college app season. But the big thing I can tell you, pick the school that you feel that you would want to live at, an environment that you love, whether it's the weather, the people, the kind of school it is, public, private, whatever you have a preference for. One has your major in a way that you're so excited for. They have great programs. Just pick a school for you, not for the expectation of other people. But at the end of the day, once you get to your school, it's you're gonna look back at college app season and think, wow, this is my school. I don't know why I was so overwhelmed about all these places I needed to apply to, because there's no wrong school to pick. The school that you pick is yours and yours alone. And when you get there, you're going to recognize, wow, I really overthought some of these things. College, this is the school I get to go to and I picked. I think that just try to remember that when you're making that final choice. Pick a school that you just feel that you need to go to. And sometimes people think too much about social pressures there too.
And then my last question to you, lastly, what advice would you give to someone out there that's struggling with their mental health, or just some kind of message that you would like to leave for a Justine Stress audience?
I think that anyone who needs to hear this, I want you to know that you are absolutely loved and cared for, and that you have people that are always going to be here from you. And I understand what it's like to really have your moments and struggles with mental health, whether it's figuring out what you want to do, or where you want to go to school, or what community you feel that you belong in. I want you to know that there are people that care and care about you. But the biggest thing that you can do is to make sure that you are doing things, whether it's working a job, going to a school, or participating in extracurriculars, you're doing the things that you just care about so much. Don't worry too much about, oh, should I be doing this because it looks good on this? Or should I be doing do the things that you care about? That was what changed my mental health for me, because I was stretching myself so thin, just doing things that I didn't always care about, but just do the things that you enjoy doing, because at the end of the day, you're with yourself every day. And I just want you to know that you're cared for, but just make sure you do the things you care about and love to do.
All
Because
right.
sometimes we don't hear that enough.
Thank you so much, Alex. I would definitely say that this was one of my favorite interviews I've done for this series. So you're very well spoken and you have made some very, very good points. So thank you so much for like having this opportunity for taking this interview today. And thank you so much for sharing your story and helping us address teen stress.